Not live now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello, guys. Welcome to the True Red Devils channel. It is not the very best day today. I didn't want to do this, but fuck it. I don't hide. So I'm doing the channel today. I've got Oris from Oris Talks Football. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, man. That's what I want to say. United is supporting my weekend, so
Uh,
I'm
I'm
trying to
used to
keep
it.
up. I'm trying to keep up, but yeah, I'm all right. I'm all right.
That's good. And I've got the Red Frederick here. How you doing, Frederick?
Could have done better, but yeah, here I am.
Yeah, yeah. It's not the best day. I'm sure. But the thing is, we'll look at this and we'll say Liverpool fans are probably laughing at us. City fans probably laughing. Arsenal fans probably laughing. Just goes to show that when Man United lose, Man United other fans still want to take the piss out of us, and it just goes to show how big a club we are when that happens. In my opinion.
And
Um,
Chelsea fans as well. Don't
oh
forget.
yeah, and Chelsea fans. Yeah,
Don't.
but yeah. Frederick, what did you think of the game then?
The first half, I think we should thank De Gea and McTominay because they really saved us. I had a mate of me who was a United supporter as well who said to me, De Gea is really shit. I was like, are you kidding with me, mate? He's one of our best players. It's for me the first half. I think it showed how many United supporters are just so agenda. They want to go at players. People were going at McTominay, going at De Gea. I said no, they are best players.
Mm-hmm.
The second half, City did what they wanted, as you said, David, in your story. We had our moments, but that was about it. So nothing to really cheer for. It's for me, it's new game on Thursday. We should look forward to that.
Yes, yeah, I agree. Oris, what did you think of the game?
Yeah, man. Disappointing, man. For me, conceding 4 goals in 44 minutes is just embarrassing, man. I don't blame the fans leaving early. I really don't blame them because, listen, that was a disgraceful performance. For me, now, all I have to say is the reaction, how we bounce back from this. I want to see a reaction from this defeat. Obviously, we've got the Europa League game on Thursday, but we've got a huge game, Everton away. You know, fans need to understand Everton away. That is not an easy ground to go to. So for me, I just want to see a reaction. But everyone was poor, man. It's disappointing day for United fans.
Yeah. Personally, I'm not going to call them out. But yeah, actually, you know what? I don't care. It's my channel. I can say what the fuck I want. People don't like it. Oh well. Anybody who left early at halftime, you're a fucking disgrace. Simple as. I don't care. I don't care if I go to a game. I don't care if we're playing City, Liverpool. I don't care if we're losing 5-0, 6-0. I stay till the fucking end. And leaving at halftime, you're a fucking joke. I'm sorry. And if people are watching this and you left, well, and you don't like what I say, well, don't follow my channel because I'm here to tell the truth. And I'm sorry, but you were a disgrace today leaving early. Based on the game, first half was shocking. But the thing is, we can't just say that we were shit because, yes, we were poor, but Manchester City played fantastic football in that first half. So credit has to go to City. Excuse me. I do think we only scored the 3 goals in the second half because City allowed us to. 1 second. Evening to AFC BFAN TV. Nice to see you. Yeah, going back, when we came out the second half, you could see that City was allowing us to play the football. We were passing the ball freely. They weren't pressing us or anything, and that's the only reason we got 3 goals today because they allowed us to play in that second half. If they carried on like they did in the first half, we wouldn't have scored, and it probably would have been double figures. And in the background, in my thingy, I'm going to add Manny now. Manny, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, all good, all good, all good.
Yeah.
I don't want to rub it in. And
Right.
I think it's
Sure.
fair to say that, those three, I know that you're not really going to feel like taking those 3 goals as any sort of a crumb of comfort, but let that be some proof that, A, there is still a lot in the team that more to you than people might think, and B, City can be beaten if people press them enough. So I know this is probably not going to be of much consolation to you, but I hope you can at least understand where I'm coming from. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I can understand. Manny, this is Red Frederick, and do you know Horace?
Yeah,
Of course.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was in the stream.
Manny's an Arsenal fan, Frederick, but he's a football fan as well. So he doesn't chat shit. He just tells the honest truth. So I can give him that.
Yeah, at the moment, I'm just keeping an eye on the Leeds Villa game. Leeds had a man sent off for the stupidest thing possible, but Villa have been huffing and puffing, not been
The
able
thing
to
is,
blow
even
their house
Leeds
down.
fans, like, I don't know what they deserve to be bantering United. Like, please just pipe down, mate, because
Let him. This is what I said at the beginning, though. Every team loves when United lose.
exactly that's how big we are. That's how big club we are.
Let them because Leeds. I mean, if any Leeds fans are watching this, they're just a small fucking club, and
Exactly.
they're
They're
tiny.
lucky that the game got cancelled. They're very lucky.
They're lucky because they shouldn't even be in the flaming Premier League. They should have got relegated last season. So,
David, you still think win the league?
nope.
Well, David, you can't be too harsh on them because put it this way: if it weren't for Leeds, you wouldn't have broken your Premier League winning duck. Because from which club did you buy a certain Eric Cantona?
The King. Yeah, but he came to a better club.
Listen,
So he
Ten Hag
upgraded.
saying, the thing is, I want to go
Same
back to
for
the
Ferdinand.
game.
Same for
Ten
Alan
Hag
Smith.
saying that. Yeah, I want to go back to the game. Ten Hag saying that he doesn't want to disrespect Ronaldo's career, but last season, mate, he was in that 5-0 defeat to Liverpool. He was in that 4-1. So I don't know what Ten Hag's talking about. That I understand that it was embarrassing defeat, but listen, Ronaldo was involved in the embarrassing defeats last season. So I just don't get him, man. I just don't understand. But listen, I agree with David, what he told me earlier in the back room. Sancho, I don't know what he was playing today, man. Bruno as well, like, what on earth? Bruno, like, come on, man. Just, Liverpool and Arsenal, you can, that pass he did to Rashford, that was a good pass. But now, when it comes to City away, it just seems that place just doesn't want to turn up. So I don't get it. That lot, I thought, what enough is that lot of Malacia were on? That's why Ten Hag took on Malacia after I wrote on Luke Shaw. But I don't know what our fullbacks was on. Centre backs again. Varane Ryan's getting injured because of a ball got shot to his leg. So I don't understand that part. And then Eriksen, you can't really blame. Can you really? For me, I'm not going to put all that much blame to Eriksen because at least he tried. But again, he did have a bad game. Like, everyone had a bad game. Not one player had a good game for me.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I agree. Frederick, can you take any positives from this?
We got a new game on Thursday. That's what I take from positive, and I do think we will anyway now see new players on Thursday, and I do feel like they have more to play for now because we would anyway not have played the same 11 against the Greece team that I won't try to pronounce on Thursday.
Ammonia.
Yeah, no, the players that play that game, they know that I got a place to win because if you do play well, you will get to play against Everton because the ones who played today, they was playing shit. So if a Maguire come in and play well, then he should be playing on.
You see Maguire smiling, by the way. I don't know if there's a picture going around that Maguire was smiling when we were losing 6-1 in the around 83rd minute. So there's a picture going around that Maguire is smiling. So,
but probably Man United supporters did because that was just stupid what we did. Let's face it, we all had a smile because
Ten Hag got it wrong. Ten Hag got the game.
Yeah.
But all I'm saying is every United fan have to back Ten Hag. It's gonna take time.
Yeah.
You have to trust the process and give him time because honestly, he's got a lot of job to do, man. It's a tough job managing Man United. We've seen it with our managers before that on our unsuccessful managers like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and others. So for me, it's a tough job for Ten Hag, but we have to give him time and see what he does. Because Yeah.
But I
Yeah,
mean,
totally. I'll just mean that it's everyone's place to win. It's Wan-Bissaka can come in and do a great job, and then he deserves to play, and that's about
Yeah, I mean-
everyone who plays.
I mean, everyone was praising Dalot after the Portugal games, and even for this season. I mean, yeah, he has done well. I will admit, but it just showed today how much we miss a defensive fullback in Wan-Bissaka, and I don't think Grealish would have even had a sniff today. I mean, most of the time he fell to the floor anyway. But yeah, it was crazy today. Yeah, I mean, I don't even want to predict the team for Thursday. Just because it's Europa League and he has been mixing it up, but for Everton as well. I thought when Luke Shaw came on, I actually thought Shaw played well, considering he wasn't matched. I know he played for England, but I do think he came on and he showed that he can still play. I'm not saying anything bad for Malacia. The yellow card he got was because of a poor pass. But still, he just looked so off the boil, and it's what I said in previous things. I even said that maybe Luke Shaw should have played today because he knows the derby, he knows what it's about. Malacia is young; he may have played in the derby in Holland. I don't know, but none as big as the Manchester derby. The Manchester derby is the biggest derby in the world. It was the biggest derby this weekend, all day long. Sorry, Manny, but it's the truth.
No issues.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I even had an Arsenal. I'm gonna say this. I had an Arsenal fan friend on my Facebook trying to say that Manchester was blue and London was red. So then when I questioned, I was like, hold on a minute. Let's have a look. I was like, well, Man United and Chelsea are pretty much the same. Arsenal and City are pretty much the same. Manchester's red, London's blue, because United's got more Premier League titles, more league titles than City, more Champions Leagues than City. Chelsea have got more Premier League titles than Arsenal. Not league titles overall, because I do know Arsenal have got more, and obviously Chelsea have got the Champions Leagues. But if you wanted to throw it at me, that's fine. But yeah. I just don't know. I don't know what the team will be on Thursday.
I'm saying, yeah, sorry to cut you there. If Dubravka doesn't start, it shows you that he was not Ten Hag signing. If either Dubravka or I don't know, Tom Heaton, if they don't start, then that they were not Ten Hag signing. Especially Dubravka for me.
I mean, I don't understand. I know Dubravka was injured last time. That's why he didn't even fly. I don't really understand why he didn't start the first game. I thought he would have been like our Europa League goalkeeper. So I don't understand. I didn't even understand signing anyway. But in a way, I wish we didn't have the Europa League game. I wish we just went straight into Everton, because the team on Thursday will probably would have been different today to today's anyway. I mean, Lindelof came on for a run, and in my opinion, Lindelof showed why he's probably worse than Maguire, because I thought Lindelof today was just, I think he was poor.
Yeah, 100%.
I know obviously he's Scandinavian, Frederick, like yourself, but
I'm not a fan of Lindelof. No way
Yeah.
at all. I think Lindelof is some of the worst I've seen. I would rather play Phil Jones when he's fit than Lindelof, because for me Lindelof is why does Lindelof is a centre back? He's not fast. He's not good in the air. He has its passes, but that's not what a centre back should be good at.
Yeah. Frederick, I'm gonna ask you a question. Obviously, there's another Swedish guy, Anthony Elanga. What do you think about him?
He needs to go on loan somewhere. He needs.
That's what I've been saying all the time, man. But United fans, when I say something bad about play, they always say, "Oh, you got an agenda." It's not agendas. Elanga needs a loan. It's an opinion, exactly.
Yeah.
Elanga, for me, I don't think it's good enough. This is my opinion. I don't think it's good enough to be a starter. I think he needs to go on loan to either. For me, we always do these stupid loans. Like we do it. It's always like somewhere to Birmingham, or it has to be a Premier League club, or maybe a Championship. But for me, Premier League club, or Man United, we always do bad long deals anyway. So I don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna say something because I've said it on my on my Instagram, and let me just do the comments. AFC 9 points, Bournemouth. I thought Bournemouth had more points than 9. I don't know. I don't even know where they are in the Championship. Oris legend, there you go, Oris. You got a shout out. Up Premier League, Bournemouth. Hey, when Bournemouth are good enough, mate.
Leeds just finished full time 0-0. So Jordan's in the mud for that. So, yeah. But anyways,
where is Bournemouth? Oh yeah, Bournemouth's in the Premiership, aren't they? I do apologise. I literally thought they were in the Championship. Yeah, there you are, 13th. Sorry, mate, if you're still watching. I literally completely that's my day. Yeah, I'm gonna say something, right? Okay, yeah. I can't remember the year. 01, something like that, 02. Roy Keane took out Alfie and Haaland.
Or 01.
01, yeah, I thought it was. And we all know he did it on purpose to get back at him. Now, I did make a little joke saying instead of kicking him in his leg, he should have kicked him in his nuts, and then Haaland Jr. might not have been born if he'd done a good enough job. But I posted that video, and then I was thinking about it while I was playing FIFA, and I was like, you know what? Actually, Roy Keane in the studio today, I literally did not hear a word he said. I've read what he said because I do not listen to him because I think he's biased. I think he's bitter. He played well for United. I'll give him that. But since he left United, he's become a bitter twat, and he's not a legend in my eyes. I've said that for many, many years. So every time he's on the TV, I mute him. I can't be asked listening to him. But the thing is, a couple of years ago, Solskjaer was in charge. We had the chance to sign Haaland, and Haaland didn't sign. Now, yes, there was a problem with United didn't want to do the release clause, and there was money to his agent. But the thing is, Solskjaer and Haaland, both Norwegian, both knew each other from Molde, and I honestly think that Haaland would have joined. Now, the question is, if that incident 21 years ago hadn't happened, would Haaland have signed for United? And it's ifs and buts. But I honestly think that if that incident hadn't happened, Haaland would have been in a United shirt today, not a City shirt. And in my opinion, Roy Keane has to take some blame for that, even if it was 21 years ago. And the tackle he did was fucking disgusting. Yeah. And he never should have played football again.
I agree, I actually agree. I've said it all the time.
Frederick, you're Norwegian. What do you think?
I think that I blame the Glazer for that one because Ole did want to sign Haaland. I do think Haaland wanted to come to United, but we went for Igalo instead because he was a cheaper option. I do think it was as simple as that. The Glazers saw a cheaper option in the Igalo and thought that we go for that one.
Yeah.
So
I agree with I agree blaming the Glazers as well. I do sometimes think it could have been different if Keane hadn't done that, but it's one of those we'll never know moments, unfortunately. But I mean, someone can send this to Roy Keane if you want. I don't care. Keane, if you're watching this, you're a cunt. There you go.
I agree completely. And, I'm a bit disappointed that you didn't call on me because I'm going to tell you I have a lot to say about that idiot. And I'm going to start by saying, David, that I applaud you for taking the stance you've taken. Because Keane is one of those polarizing figures, who also divides the United fan base. I mean, people sort of take a look at his personality, born and brought up in Cork, the rebel county of Ireland. They love his sexy, smouldering rebel personality, and they try and, pass him off. Huh?
Sexy?
Well, I mean, you take away the stubble, he could be quite dishy. I don't know, but it's like they're sort of attracted to his personality, and they try to pass him off as this man of principle who has high standards and sticks up for what he believes in. But in reality, when you take a look at many of his actions, whether it was his stupid antics at Manchester United, either then or near the end of his time there, or even his ridiculous behavior with the Republic of Ireland team, which deservedly got him sent home from the training camp in Saipan, you see nothing but a self-centered, self-obsessed, narcissistic hypocrite with no morals or scruples. And even one of Ireland's most distinguished journalists, Dion Fanning, has put the boot in, saying exactly that. And I could even go on and on. But what angers me is how several United fans defend Keane for the tackle by saying, well, Holland shouldn't have stood over him, accusing him of faking an injury. What they forget is that Roy Keane actually attempted to injure Holland in that game at Ellen Road when Holland was playing for Leeds United. He tried to tackle him from behind. His studs got caught in the turf and his cruciate ligament snapped and he was out injured. Now, Holland couldn't have known that he wasn't faking an injury because he knew that Keane was trying to tackle him. And so he didn't know what had happened until Keane was stretchered off. But then Keane held that grudge and he described it in his autobiography and said, take that. What goes around comes around. Don't you dare stand over me sneering about fake injuries and tell your mate David Weatherall that there'll be some for him as well. And even some United fans tried to defend him further by saying that it was actually Haaland's left knee that got him, that ended his career. And Haaland still went on to recover and play the full 90 minutes, and about days afterwards played for the Norwegian national team in the match, albeit being taken off in the 65th minute. He never played a full game again. What people don't realize is that Haaland's leg was in the air at the time, so Keane was lucky. Had his leg been on the ground and had when Keane, cut into it, can you imagine what would have happened then?
Yeah.
I mean, I know Keane might be a smart fella, but I wouldn't credit him to be that, intelligent to actually wait for the exact moment when Haaland's leg would be in the air, sort of, and knock him down, because his first instinct was to cripple the guy.
Yeah.
And yet, the number of people who defend him for that, the number of people who still think that he is the bee's knees, still a United legend, still an Ireland legend, still their greatest ever player and the best captain that United have had, or the best captain in the history of the Premiership, is absolutely stupid. And you and I can go on and on about this, but I don't want to, because we've got you got a lot to talk about.
That's cool.
I will definitely say right now that Keane deserves to be remembered as a bitter little bugger who, I told you that day, he's the modern day equivalent of groundskeeper Willie. You give him a stage, everyone praises him in public, but in private, they all laugh at him. Can you imagine him standing on a stage and thinking, when you're alone and life is getting you lonely, you can always go downtown, in that Irish cork brogue of his.
Yeah.
So that's the way Keane is. He never should be taken seriously as a pundit. As a player, he was an absolute thug. And it's fitting that he never got to have the honor of leading Manchester United in the Champions League final or lead Ireland at a World Cup, because it's a lesson. Your attitude will determine your altitude. If you have a nasty, bitter attitude, you will never be remembered as a true great. Simple as that.
Frederick, you look about 30-ish. Sorry if I get it wrong. You round about 30-ish?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, I'm just too good at guessing ages. What do you think about like the Keane situation and the Haaland 21 years ago?
With the Keane situations, of course, I didn't watch too much football at that time, but of course I've seen it many times. And the tackle itself, it was horrible. Should never have happened. And I think Ferguson was right to ban him from play. But Keane as a player, after what I have read from former players saying that he was a great player, and I do think that if we had the Roy Keane in the Solskjaer team, I do think Solskjaer would have done much better, because that was what we missed during Solskjaer, a player who just, when he was playing shit, just went into the wardrobe and say that, okay, guys, we're playing shit now. I don't want to see this in the second half. Let's get out and kick some ass.
Yeah,
we need someone who says that. I don't think anyone said that in the Solskjaer team.
No. Yeah, it's one of them. It is one of them things. I'm not going to go on about Roy Keane, because he doesn't deserve to be mentioned as much. But yeah, like I said, if anyone wants to send lists to him, and if he wants to call me out, then let him. I'll meet him in the boxing ring. I don't care. Fine. I'll just make sure.
Mate,
when
he's a fake hard man. I mean, he gives his hard man persona, but if you were to put him up against any of those Gaelic footballers, they'd really give him a game. And if you put him in a one-on-one against Mick McCarthy, McCarthy would slap him around.
Yeah.
They make him tough in Barnsley.
Yes, yeah. So obviously it's Europa League midweek for both our clubs. I'm not confident. I know we were playing City. I know, but one reason why I hate the Europa League is I hate these small clubs that I've hardly ever heard of or even heard of, because you don't know who the best players are. You don't see them. Yeah, you can send scouts and stuff, but when you've got the likes of Real Madrid, Barcelona, you know how they're going to play. You know the best players. These small clubs, you just don't know how they're going to play. They could literally put 11 men behind the ball, and it'll be so difficult. So
would you have the opportunity of that actually? Because many does not know this, but until I think it was May this year, Henning Berg, the former United player, was the manager of Onya.
Yeah, I remember.
So we actually do have the chance to know how they play.
Yeah, and as somebody who used to watch Henning Berg, he was actually quite an underrated defender for us, to be honest. Same as Ronnie Johnson. Everyone always goes on about Stam, Riddich, Ferdinand, Bruce, Pallister, low five just in the Premier League era. But yeah, Ronnie Johnson just never gets the credit. I mean, he was the backbone of that central defence in the treble season with Jaap Stam. And people just think he was an average player, but seeing him play, he deserves so much more credit. I mean, Norway have, in my opinion, always produced some great footballers: Jonsson, Berg, Solskjaer, Erling Haaland, Odegaard, and they just never had all of them at the right time to get to World Cups and stuff. Yes, they got to the World Cup in '98, I remember. But I think that may have been the last time they were there. But yeah, I'm not confident. I think we'll maybe scrape a win. But me personally, I want to see us go out on Thursday, absolutely smash them, perform like Man United can, play as a team, smash them, get confidence back, beat them 5, 6, 7, 8-0. I'm not going to discredit the team we're playing because I do think we'll be lucky to score maybe 2, maybe 3. But I just want us to go out and just play like Man City did in that first half. Absolute, just dominate. Just don't even give the team another chance, because that's what happened today. City absolute dominated us in that first half, and they deserve so much credit for that. And we just fell to pieces. Manny, what do you think about Arsenal's chances in midweek?
I think we've got to play Bodo Glimt, if I'm not wrong. We should have scored more against FC Zurich, and a lot of people are sort of making a foregone conclusion that we will qualify from that group as group winners, but PSV will certainly give us a tough game, and this is going to be one of those games where our bench strength will be tested, because as good as our first 11 are, we are only 1 or 2 injuries away from having the apple cart being upset greatly, and so we can't take anything for granted. And I definitely would like to see the fringe players who don't get to play very much, certainly the likes of Eddie Nketiah, maybe Matt Turner, Tomiyasu. Tierney can continue his sort of recovery from getting injured a bit. Maybe Ben White can come back into the center of defense, or we should probably give the likes of Holding or some other players a chance. This will be the game which tests our bench strength, and there are some players who many Arsenal fans would not want to see playing, but we know that we have to give them a chance to make sure that our bench strength is well tested. And I would like to see a good win. If we're not going to score too many goals, at least we shouldn't concede too many either. And this will be another test for Matt Turner in goal. So I'm quietly confident, but I'm not going to sort of. I'm definitely not going to sort of go around crowing that we've got this in the bag by any means. Far from it. Every game has to be taken as it comes, and we have to make sure that we give the opposition respect, but not too much respect, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bode Glimt.
Go, Frederick.
You're on mute.
Frederick.
I'm muted now, or
Yeah,
We can hear you now, mate.
okay, you can hear me now. Yeah. I mean, Bode Glimt, they were quite good against Roma last year, so it's in the Conference League.
Yeah. I mean, Manny, would you start Saka on Thursday, or would you rest him?
No, rest him. He's been playing in the Premiership. He's been playing for England, obviously. I want him to be rested. Bring him on as a second half substitute by all means, but he needs to be looked after.
Who else would you rest?
Ooh, good question.
Obviously, you can't rest too many players, obviously, because obviously you haven't got the squad depth, but obviously you have got a big game at weekend. Sorry for interrupting.
Agreed, and that's another reason why I want to see Thomas Partey rested as well, because people can talk about how we can't afford to rest him, but again, we have to make sure that we do test our bench strength. And I get what you're saying. We don't have that much in terms of squad depth, but we have to test it. We have to make sure that we've got players who will be, fired up to play in the Europa League, and make sure that we campaign for silverware. So I would definitely rest Thomas Partey. Zinchenko could also be given a rest, maybe brought on as a second half sub. Granit Xhaka, definitely. I also am not too convinced with Odegaard, to be quite frank. So if it means that there was a point in time where I was really impressed with the talent that he had, but he's the type of person, and Frederick, maybe you can speak more about this than I can. Captain of Norway, he does have some really attractive little touches and flicks every now and then. But the biggest frustration that many people in the Arsenal fan base have with him is that he doesn't really impose himself that much as a number 10. He knows how to get in and around and weave around. He does have a decent touch and a pretty good shot on him, but they need to see more from him as more of a CAM, in pretty much the way Dennis Bergkamp used to be for us. So you can correct me if I'm wrong over here. I'm torn between making sure that he has a chance to impress and also resting him, because as long as he's captain, Arteta's not going to drop him. So if I were to rest one of Odegaard and Xhaka, maybe I would rest Xhaka and maybe just have the midfield packed with Lokonga as our defensive midfielder, and play Vieira and Odegaard and some other person over there. Obviously, Nketiah will come up, so we'll probably cross that bridge when we come to it. But as a Norwegian, what would you say about Odegaard?
I would actually say a bit of what you were into. That is, for me, he's a very almost player. He, of course, like everyone knows, he became the youngest player in the Norwegian league, the youngest player to play for a national team at the 15. But he was always the one that, you expect him to do well. He got that big talent, but for me, I have always waiting for him to take that next step. He's almost the player you expect him to be. I think it was the reason he never got into Real Madrid. He wasn't the new Modric. Modric is better. That's why he went on loan to different clubs in the Holland League. That was why he went to loan at Real Sociedad. And not to talk down on your club, but that's why he went to Arsenal in the end, because you are not Real Madrid. He was not good enough to play for Real Madrid. He was just almost good enough, and for me, that's Martin Odegaard, just almost good enough. He do have his moments and got his parts of the game that were great, but he's not. I do think that he got the potential to be even better, to be the De Bruyne, where you see that. For me, De Bruyne is a kind of a complete player. He got the passes, he got the shots. That's what Odegaard can be, and maybe he will be it one day. But that's why Odegaard is it at Arsenal now and not at Real Madrid.
Yeah. I'm just gonna. Sorry, Manny.
And of course, Frederick, I also remember some other good Norwegian players. Erik Thorstvedt, and let's not forget Norway were there at the World Cup in '94. And also Kjetil Rekdal, Tore Andre Flo, another goalkeeper, Frode Grodås, Stig Inge Bjorneby, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Norway had some really, really good players coming out of there.
especially the
Leon
90s, yeah.
Hardson as well. Or even Leon Hardson. No.
Although I mean, Frederick, correct me if I'm wrong. There's only been one Norwegian that scored a winning goal in the Champions League final.
Yeah, that's correct. And there has also been only one Norwegian player who has won the Premier League with two clubs. Also, the first one to do it.
Yep, Henningberg.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I'm just gonna say this. I've just found this. Apparently, somebody asked Eric Ten Hag. They must have said to him, "Why didn't you bring Ronaldo on or something?" He's put 90 minutes on the bench against Manchester City, and then he said, "I wouldn't bring him in because out of respect for Cristiano, his big career. Other thing was the advantage.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. Yeah.
He needs some minutes, but I don't want to point it out like that. I agree, Martial needs minutes, but to not bring him in, for me, not to bring him on just out of respect for his career. I'm sorry, I don't really agree with that. I know Martial needs minutes, but to bring somebody off the bench when you're getting absolutely smashed, it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter if you've had a great career or not. So, I mean, me personally, I want Ronaldo gone. I didn't want him in the first place. Everyone.
Yeah, same. For me, as it stands right now, I think Martial should be a starter. I think for me, Rashford is a winger, in my opinion. I don't think Rashford is a striker. So for me, the way how we should line up for Everton next week is Martial up top, Rashford on the left, and then I don't know if Ten Hag's going to start Sancho. He might drop him, but for me, what I would do is Rashford, Anthony, and Martial. That's my front three. I'll drop Sancho, and he should realize what he's done wrong today. So
yeah, I'm gonna say this because this is also I've been thinking about. Should we start playing Fred Miro?
Fred and Casemiro, yeah, 100%. Yeah.
What do you think, Frederick?
Give it a shot against the Greek team on Thursday, and let's see how it works.
I think he might play that as well. I think he might play Casemiro.
I agree. I mean, they do wonders for the Brazil team, and I can understand Casemiro not coming in because McTominay was playing well, Eriksen was playing well, but for me, I've said it time and time again for years. If you've got a partnership for a country and you've got them in your club team, then playing because especially if they're playing well, it's one. Aya Munzi, nice to see you. Big up, thank you. Yeah, I've said it time and time again. It's like I said, if Graham Taylor had played Bruce and Pallister in the World Cup qualifying for '94 when Ferguson was playing them, we would have got to the World Cup in '94. I've always said if you've got a partnership in the club, play at international level, vice versa. And I just think Fred Miro, as I've nicknamed him since he joined, I think they need to because everybody who knows me knows that I love Fred. I mean, he came on today, and to be honest, he played actually really well. I mean, the assist that he got for Martial's first goal was absolutely brilliant. And people saying he can't cross the ball, he can't pass. Well,
exactly,
he shut you all up. So
Ten Hag is just doing this based on merits, by the way, based on merits and performance. So that's
I mean, I can understand him saying don't drop a winning team. So does that mean he's going to drop everybody from today because we lost? But
he has to play. For me now, Ten Hag has to say you have to play your best players now. So we'll see what he does.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I'm going to say right now to that, Dave, is that sometimes the best managers, need to take a look and see that, form is not the be-all and end-all. And, you need to consider a more horses for courses style approach. And one thing which I will say is that it seems clear to me that against City's 4-3-3, the 4-2-3-1 formation just didn't really have that much in terms of merit for me because I think there were a lot of gaps left. And the way the likes of De Bruyne and Grealish and even Haaland were just able to run with so much space, it was as if the United defense was dropping off or nobody was able to, able or willing to attack them in any way. But that 4-2-3-1 formation might now be ditched. And I would definitely like to see If not a Christmas tree formation, a 4-3-2-1, then at least let it be a 4-3-3. You can play Casemiro, you can play Fred or Fred Miro, as you would say. And then if you really like McTominay that much, you can stick him in. But I'm actually, no. I would have Fred, Casemiro, and Eriksen in that team. And then, you could play Martial, Sancho, and Rashford. I'm speaking a mile a minute. Please forgive me. And
okay.
yeah, so that is something which Ten Hag's going to have to do. And sometimes, you've got to realize that if your tactics don't work, you switch things around. If memory serves me right, he played the same 4-2-3-1 against Brentford and got walloped very badly. Yes, it worked against Liverpool and Arsenal, but we still saw a few chinks in the armor and still a few issues which, in my opinion, needed to be resolved. And sadly, it was just unfortunate that, coming up today, you were up against a ruthless City team which exploited all of those problems and, had 2 hat-tricks. So I think Ten Hag needs to change his tactics. I think he needs to start having a more sensible horses for courses approach, because you bring in someone like Casemiro with his CV and you do not pick him, but instead play some young Scotsman who has been doing reasonably well for country, who's been on better form. This is the defending Premier League champions we're talking about, for heaven's sake. Their midfield is all powerful. De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, Phil Foden, for crying out loud, Ilkay Gundogan, for crying out loud. And you stick McTominay up there? That's like showing up at the OK Corral with an air pistol, for crying out loud.
Guys, Orest has left us. So thank you, Orest, if for joining us. Frederick, what team would you like to see us start against Everton? So obviously ignore. It's just obviously, I think a lot of changes will be made for Thursday. So what would your 11 be for Sunday against Everton, pending injuries, etc.?
Okay, then I would have said, let's say we don't play on Thursday, because for me it's the Thursday game will depend, because I do think that a lot of players can come in and do claim a place. But let's say we didn't have a game on Thursday. I will pick a team now that will start. De Gea in goal, of course. I would quite controversially have played Wan-Bissaka on the right instead of Dalot, because I do not think Dalot is good enough defensively.
Yeah.
I do think Varane will be out, so I would have played Maguire and Martinez. I would have given Malacia the chance again, because he have been so good so far, and he have shown earlier. So I would have just said, okay, you had one shit game, but everyone has it.
Yeah.
I would have played McTominay and Eriksen, and I would have played Bruno and Donny if he was fit, because I do think we need to see what it's made of. So let's give him a chance. And he was there last year, so maybe it gives him something extra. And then Sancho and Rashford.
Yeah. I mean, mine's a bit different than yours. Obviously after today, I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus, because it's not like I said, not anybody stood out for me today. But I mean, mine, I'd play De Gea in goal. I'd change both fullbacks. I'd bring Shaw in. I would bring Dalot in. Again, I think Varane will be out injured, so I'd play Martinez with. I think it'll probably be Lindelof, because I don't think Maguire will be fit. If Maguire's fit, I would play Maguire, and then I'd play Fred Miro, because I want to see it. I've wanted to see it for weeks, and it could give us something different. I'd probably say Bruno, but it won't bother me if he was dropped. I think maybe going forward, our midfield three should be Fred Miro and Bruno. I don't rate Donny. People know that. I just don't think he's good enough for us. Even after, I can even say that after losing today, I don't think Donny could have done anything different today. I just don't rate the guy. I think, if anything, he's a number 10, where he doesn't play. So maybe play him as a number 10, but me personally, I would start rotating Eriksen and Bruno as number 10s. I'd play Rashford on the left, Martial up front, and Anthony on the right. I've said that since Anthony came in. That is my preferred front three. Yes, Rashford played poor today, but he was playing up top. He just wasn't getting the service, and he was running. He was trying and stuff like that. Sancho, I've said it time and time again. He got the goal against Liverpool and did nothing. He got the goal against Leicester and he did nothing. He got the goal against Arsenal. No, he didn't get a goal. No, he didn't get a goal against that. No, he was complete shit against Arsenal. And people are going, he had a good game. He got a goal. He got an assist, whatever. It's an overall performance that I want to see from every single player. 80 minutes, 70 minutes of decent football by every single player. I don't want them just to pop up with a goal and then think that they don't have to perform again. And today he was shocking. He was he could have gone off inside the first 10 minutes. He passed the ball away for the first goal, and it's stupid. I don't even know how he lost the ball, if I'm truly honest. I was watching it. I'm like, what the? I mean, yes, the ball had to get down the other end because he lost it on the halfway line, but we still shouldn't think, oh, hold on a minute, there's all these defenders that could have stopped these players. If Sancho had done a decent pass and hadn't lost it, it would have been completely different. He lost it again and again and again in the next 5-10 minutes, and I was getting really frustrated. But yeah, this is one reason why I don't do match watch-alongs, because if I watched today's game, my laptop would either end up broken, like thrown across the room, or it'd be just covered in spit with me shouting and swearing at it and projecting phlegm all over the place.
I think it's fair to say, David, that Sancho needed a Don Quixote to guide him. There was no Don Quixote today.
Yeah. I mean, I know, obviously, Manny, you're a football fan. You're an Arsenal fan. But obviously, to me, the main thing for me is that you're a football fan. That's why I get you on my shows. So I get Tony on. But to me, you two are true football fans. So obviously, I know you're an Arsenal fan. But what would your 11 for United be next week for Everton, etc.?
Well, here's the thing. I mean, I would definitely make some changes. Here, I think it's fair to say now that even after all these years at Manchester United, David De Gea still, he gives the impression of being, as Elton John would say, a candle in the wind. I mean, he looks so thin and so frail. How do you think a guy like him has any level of athleticism to be able to deal with some really big, bustling, centre forwards? Is beyond me. I mean, he was blown away by Tony and company at Brentford at the community stadium. So I actually think that it wouldn't be a bad idea if someone else got the chance. I really pity the fact that Dubravka might still be injured. Hopefully, if he's fit, I wouldn't mind giving him a chance, because you do not simply... He's now conceded 4 goals in one game, 6 goals in another. He's conceded quite a few. So sometimes when you have a goalkeeper who might possibly be, short of confidence, he could say whatever he likes. But Bournemouth replaced their goalkeeper, Travers, with their backup, Morara Neto, and he's been starting every game since. Another clean sheet for Bournemouth today against Brentford. So it just goes to show that sometimes you've got to make the changes you need to make. So if Dubravka is fit, I'd start him. There's no other choice. Even Everton would be forced to pick Begovic if Pickford isn't fit or badly out of form.
Yeah, it's not saying... Sorry.
Yeah. So I definitely think that Dalot and Malacia should be given a rest because they were completely torn to shreds. I think Malacia, I'm not going to go so far to say that he's been found out, but clearly he wasn't able to deal with either Foden or with Haaland or even with De Bruyne. At least with Shaw, you get a little bit of experience. So bring Shaw in. If Wan-Bissaka is still good enough to be in the squad, I don't even know why he wasn't even in the squad today.
Don't know. I think he was supposed to leave, and nobody would come in for him, and I think he's being punished. I mean, if I'm truly honest, I mean, we made 5 subs, we had 9 subs. So Heaton, Ronaldo didn't come off, Elanga, and I don't know who the other one was. But yeah, it was. I don't know.
Yeah. So to not even go with adequate defense on the bench was also criminal in many ways. You were stretched so thin, and it was almost shameful to me. So I would definitely take off the wing backs and play someone like a Wan-Bissaka and Luke Shaw on the wings. The defense, I suppose, you'd have to continue. You'd have to continue with Lisandro Martinez and bring Lindelof in. No other choice really. But I want to see a 4-3-3. Fred, Miro, and Eriksen, and front three of Marshall, maybe Rashford on the
Left.
Anthony on the right. Yeah, no, Anthony on the right, Rashford on the left, and yeah, if that's a 4-3-3, then I'll be happy, and hopefully we'll see Ten Hag doing that.
Yeah.
Whether it's against Ammonia or against Everton, at least that'll be a sign that Ten Hag is sticking to his word and making sure that changes are made, and that people with credits to start, who with merits to start, will start. And if people have poor games, then you can't just keep them on as passengers. Even De Gea shouldn't be spared. Sorry.
Yeah. No, to me, nobody should be spared, including Bruno, the captain. It's proven that Eric won't do this. I mean, he dropped he dropped Maguire, he dropped Shaw after the Brentford Brighton games. So he obviously he don't bring Ronaldo on either. So it's shown that he's not afraid, but he needs to make changes in my eyes. I don't know. The other player that was on the subs bench was Palestri, so a winger that probably wouldn't have even come on. I mean, he's certainly not somebody to come off the bench and change the game when we're a goal down or something like that, or we're drawing it. In my opinion, I know obviously you've had Makeda and all this, but to me, Palestri would. I mean, we brought Martial, Shaw, Fred, Casemiro, Lindelof on, and we had Ronaldo on the bench. I can't see Palestri coming on to try and win the game for us with those players that did come off the bench. So I don't understand why he didn't have Wan-Bissaka. I really don't. He just seems like he's been thrown under the bus, and in my opinion, maybe we should have kept Ethan Laird instead of loaning him out. It's a great little youngster. I think he's got a bright future at the club. But now that he's gone out on loan, it makes me wonder now if he's got a future, because probably when he comes back, we'll have signed a backup right back in the January transfer window, unless Wan-Bissaka can come in and show that he can still do a job. But to me, when you play the likes of City, you need defensive fullbacks, and it's one reason why it wouldn't have shocked me if we'd started Wan-Bissaka and Shaw today, because they're more defensive than Malacia and Dalot. Everton's going to be a tough game for us. I'm not going to deny it. It always is. Doesn't matter how poor they're doing. I know they scored I know they won yesterday, but I haven't really looked at the to be honest, I didn't even know. I forgot that Bournemouth were playing today. I just thought it was 2 games.
They played yesterday.
Oh, okay. Right. Yeah.
And of course, tomorrow it'll be Leicester against Nottingham Forest, and I would say that one of those 2 managers will be out of a job if there's a loss or a.
Yeah, I mean,
whoever loses will go.
We might see Jesse Lingard score a goal again.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, talking about what you just said, Manny. Obviously, I've seen that. I think for Leicester to sack Brendan Rodgers, I think it's going to set him back £8-9 million, 7-8 million, something like 7-8-9 million pounds, and some people are saying that's one reason why he is still in a job. If that's the case, unfortunately, I think they're stuck with him. But they're going to have to. Leicester need to look at themselves, and they need, like the board and that, and they need to say, is this manager going to turn us around, or are we going to spend 7 million, 8-9 million, whatever, to get rid of him?
But also, who can they bring in? After what I read of the rumors, it was Benitez or Solskjaer.
Solskjaer, perhaps. I'm not sure, but the thing is,
I wouldn't touch Benitez with a 10-foot pole.
No,
That man is
I was
yesterday's news.
also when I was read
That's
that
Spanish
Benitez,
way.
it was no, he did okay with Liverpool, but after that, has he done anything?
yeah. But I mean, they're struggling at the moment, and let's say that 7, 8, 9 million is used on players, you're not going to get much for that to change the team around. So, in my opinion, I'd get rid of, I'd pay Rodgers off, get a new manager in, and try and survive. Because if they get relegated to the Championship, they're going to lose so much more money than the 7, 8, 9 million that they're going to pay for Rodgers. So I think they need to act, and they need to act quickly. He does well, but then he goes poor. He did it at Liverpool as well. So I don't know. I just think Brendan Rodgers will get the sack soon. I don't think he'll be in after the World Cup, in my opinion. Forest manager, I wouldn't want him to sack him. I know they're not doing that well. I mean, they are 19th, but I mean, they are only 2 points off promotion. They're only 2 points off 17th, and I have always said this. I like it when a new team comes up, and it doesn't matter how poor they've started, they still back the manager that got them promoted. So I'd like them to maybe give him till the World Cup, and because I think we've got 7 games before the World Cup, 8 games, something like that. I think it finished after like week 16. So I think they've got like 8, 9 games left. And then you've still got 20 games after the World Cup to change it, which is plenty, I think, for a manager, especially if they're so close. But I just feel that sometimes, like Bournemouth, granted, Bournemouth are doing well since they sacked Scott Parker, but I just thought they got him. He got them promoted, and then they just got rid of him straight away. I know you can't really lose 9-0 to a poor Liverpool team, but I just think it was a bit harsh that they got rid of him, in my opinion. Bit like Tuchel, but that's the problem.
But that was the owner, I think. I think it was the new owner wanting
apparently.
his own guy, so he
wanted
just
Ronaldo.
waited for the right.
Yeah, apparently he
occasion,
wanted. He wanted Ronaldo. Tuchel didn't want him.
Yeah.
So, in my opinion, if that's the truth, Ronaldo moved to Chelsea in January, mate, because I don't care. Honestly, never wanted you back. So
I was happy about that, but the most important for me is we need players who want to stay at United. I don't want players who want to go somewhere else. It's for me, I don't care about your name, just play for the bench.
Yeah,
I do think it was the Arsenal player, I don't remember his name now, who said it. If you play for the badge on the front, people remember the name on the back.
Van Persie.
Tony Adams.
That's it.
And I do think that's everyone should be thinking about, because it's absolutely true.
Yeah, I mean, Tony Adams, we might as well get on to him. Manny, where do you live?
Sadly, I don't live in the UK right now. I live all the way in India. So it's about 1:45 where I am. I am actually trying to get back to the UK as soon as possible. Maybe after the new year, I could be back, but we'll see how that works. But what were you trying to ask me?
No, I was just saying about Tony Adams being on Strictly Come Dancing. He was a much better defender than he is dancer. I can tell you that now.
Oh, mate, he should have spoken to David Seaman about some tips on how to do that. And I think he knew in his heart of hearts he was never going to win the competition. So it was just an excuse to have a little bit of fun and enjoy himself, and maybe promote his sporting chance, some charity. Of course, we all know how he recovered from being a raging alcoholic to become the poster boy for teetotalism and turn his life around. And so we'll always love him for that. And that 2002 season where we won the double and he got the send off he deserved. I don't think there's I don't think there was a dry eye at Highbury that day. So who cares how well he could dance? I don't care about that. As long as he did his stuff on the pitch, on the field for us, Who cares?
Yeah. It goes back to when Ferguson took over at United. I mean, we had Brian Robson, and at the time he was a big drinker, but he was doing the business on the pitch. So that's what mattered to me. That's what mattered to Fergie. Obviously, Ferguson cut it a bit, but the players like Norman Whiteside,
Paul McGrath.
Paul McGrath, they just didn't, and Fergie got rid. But Brian Robson nipped it in the bud, and he respected the manager, and he carried on. Let me just answer this. Gonna win the league? No. So yeah. I mean, Brian Robson for me was Man United legend, for England legend. Unfortunately, injuries hampered his career. For me, third best number 7 we've ever had. Only George Best and Eric Cantona are better than him. Beckham's 4th, Ronaldo's 7th, Ronaldo's 5th. So yeah, I'm just a world-class player. You don't get called Captain Marvel if you crap. So
yeah, and here's the thing: going back to Keane, all Keane did was really continue the standards that was set by Brian Robson and Steve Bruce. And the only reason why he became captain was because in the team of world-class players who were committed to win, including his fellow Corkman Dennis Irwin, he was the one who shouted the loudest. And
Legend.
I'm not joking when I say that anyone, whether it was Peter Schmeichel or someone like a Ryan Giggs or a Gary Neville, someone with as much clout could have captained that team. But Keane was probably the one who shouted the loudest. Even when the likes of Paul Ince were still in the team, Roy Keane was the one who was doing a lot of the shouting. I considered Keane to be a little bit overrated as captain, and why he gets so much praise is beyond me. But enough about Keane. Hopefully, after this game today, a lot of you United fans will have had a reality check, and it's back to life, back to reality, as the song goes.
Yes, yeah. For me, completely agree with what you say. I think we're all sorted. Manny, I'm sure you want to get to bed.
No, I've stayed up even longer. In fact, I might possibly be having another stream, the Football for Thought podcast, which might be on another hour or so. So I normally sleep late. I make sure I get up early. I might take a nap in the early evening to just get everything sorted. But yeah, I mean, I miss England though. I miss the snow. I miss the cold weather. It's hot and humid over here. Sweat buckets. Can't stand it.
Yeah. I just want to say thank you for coming on, Frederick.
Pleasure,
thank you for having me on.
Yeah, I mean it's nice to finally do a stream with you, etc. and stuff, and actually meet you properly, etc. So literally, thank you for coming on, especially at such short notice. Manny, again, thank you. You're always welcome on my channel. Don't matter if you support the one team that play in red. And Frederick, you're always welcome as well on mine. So Frederick, if you want to tell people where they can find you and promote your channel, etc.
Yeah, it's the Red Frederick at Instagram. Everything's there. I'm linking to my YouTube and stuff there. So just check out my Instagram if you do think I don't talk too much shit, and if you do think I talk shit, then you can check it out anyway.
Hey, if they follow me, mate, then literally they're used to people talking shit, so don't worry about it, mate. Yeah, you're probably tame compared to me. Manny, do you want to tell people where people can find you?
Yeah, I don't have a YouTube channel of my own, sadly, but I am thinking of getting one very soon. And when I do that, people like you and obviously Frederick as well get to have met you. You will be among the first to know. In the meantime, you can catch me on Twitter, engaging in a few debates with some Arteta inners, Arteta sexuals, as we would call them. The handle for that is Thangadurai1981, which is my surname and my year of birth. You could also catch me on Instagram if you want a more personal connection and want to talk a bit more in depth. It's Manny Thangadurai1981. on Instagram. That's my full name, my year of birth. Dave is already following me. And on YouTube, you can. I have a presence on a few channels. Del Boy Gunner TV is obviously where I began this whole YouTube podcast thing, and it's been terrific. Absolutely love the bloke. Irish fan, Arsenal fan, great company. He'll have a lot to say about Roy Keane as well. A few other channels. S. Wheatley TV. I know he's doing a review stream of the Arsenal game and obviously the weekend's games. Oris Talks Football, who was on here earlier. Coach's Corner with Hanno Trollope. I did a watch along for today's Manchester derby. Good fun, always good fun with him. Young lad who has a lot to say. Obviously, the Football for Thought podcast on NS Sports TV. King's Football Show with King Said, another Arsenal fan. And I go wherever I feel welcome. And I also want to big up David's channel, the True Red Devils channel. Thank you for having me on. Ever since we've started speaking and more often, it's been real good fun. Wonderful to have a chat with someone else like me who's also very much old school and who remembers football from almost way back when, including when the pass back rule wasn't even a thing at the time.
Yeah.
And I'm just happy to come on.
The only reason Liverpool won so many league titles.
And that was the only that without that back pass rule, we wouldn't have beaten them at Anfield. So in 1989. So yeah, I mean, I'm happy to come on, say whatever I want to say, as long as I get appreciated. What you see is what you get with me.
I'll always appreciate you, Manny. You know that, and it's actually quite nice today. It was nice and calm. No arguing, no big bad mouthing and stuff like that. And it's what I prefer. It's what I want my channel. I don't like getting into arguments with people, but if I do, it's for good reasons. But yeah, I just want to have a nice, calm conversation with football fans. Banter, yes, but respect people's opinions. Allow them to speak.
Absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely. Yeah. So once again, thanks.
Sorry, Manny. Go on.
Yeah. So once again, thanks for having me on, and thanks for listening to my opinions. You'll always get a realist opinion from me.
Definitely.
You won't see me bigging up Arsenal's chances of winning the league. And once again, thanks a lot, everyone. And before we sign off, let's also offer our thoughts and prayers to the families of those Indonesian fans who were killed in the riot today. This should never happen in football. Memories of Hillsborough in 1989 flooding back. Nobody ever wants to see this. We're all united by the game of football. So let me offer my prayers on behalf of everyone here to those who are departed. I hope you'll all be at peace, and to the families left behind, I hope you'll find the courage and the strength to deal with this loss.
Yes,
peace to all of you.
Agree. All right, guys, thank you very much for watching. Please like, comment, share, so more people can watch. I've got nothing planned for this week yet. I'm going to have a look at my schedule and see. Maybe Wednesday I might do a show. It's my first. I've got darts on Monday night, and I'm doing my new job on Tuesday, so I may do something Wednesday. But because Monday and Tuesday's busy night, I might just play FIFA. I don't know, depends. But yeah, people will know. I'll post it on my Instagram. So thank you guys for coming along, and let's just forget this day happened and forget the result. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you very much,
mate. Thank you.
Nice to meet you.